Okay, I'm back. Do do do. We're gonna go back to editing this. Sorry for the short break, but I had to go. So this is the video. I'm gonna play it one more time, and yeah. So I believe this is Portland, Oregon. We're going into. The college it's Lewis and Clark College, which I can search. I'll do that right now. All these videos were recorded. Yeah, it's been Portland, Oregon. I recorded these videos in 2013. The way it worked out, I had just done a semester at USC, and it was a summer semester. And so my sister was, USC is in University of Southern California. It's in LA. And I was in the film studies program. And so then, after I finished, I had to come back to Michigan. And so my mom and sisters, they drove to California. And and then we were going to do this really long road trip where we go to like as many states as possible. And we were going to see the sights and everything. But the main reason for going was that my one sister was looking at colleges throughout the U.S. So we're mainly going to go from college to college over that summer vacation. But what ended up happening was that my sister ended up having to go to a meeting. This was a different sister, not the one that was looking for a college. And so she called up and scheduled the meeting for like in 1 week. So we had a week to drive from California back to Michigan, but we still needed to go to the colleges. So we did this huge road trip, like as fast as humanly possible. And a lot of the colleges were crossed off the road trip, so we can go to as many places. But that's how I got all this footage. It's just us driving essentially from college to college across the United States. And then the joke of it was the other sister who had that meeting she had to get to. The meeting only lasted like 20 minutes. I was like, we drove all the way from California to Michigan, and it only lasted 20 minutes. I'm gonna change the music. Okay. So, and this all looks pretty good, except for here. Oh, I know why I did that. Okay. So this is only a 5-minute clip, but it's gonna take a while to edit. And I was kind of talking about the struggles I had to go through last week with my final project and everything. But I don't even think I told you guys what the final program was. So over the past 2 months, I was in an advanced course for the .NET framework for Microsoft. And so in the class we had two options. We could do all the studies in Visual Basic, which is an easier programming language, or we could do it in C#. And the teacher, asked me, he was like, how good are you at programming? And I was like, really good. And so he was like, you should do this C#. And so I did the C#, which was a little harder. And then there were a lot of kind of complications where it was an independent study, so I could turn things in whenever I wanted to. But what is the word? Oh, but I was traveling, so you guys may remember that I was traveling a lot in May. So it was essentially traveling till the 26th, and in order to program I need to be at my desktop computer. I can't program on my laptop, and I just wouldn't have had time when I was traveling. And so while that was going on, I was getting worried the whole time I was traveling. I mean, I wasn't on a vacation, it was still work related stuff, but it was just the anxiety was building, because it's just the amount of work you have to do is 4 months worth of work. It's a regular semester, and then you have to and so it's a regular semester. There's 4 months worth of work you have to do, and then it's in the spring semester, so you only have 2 months to do it. And then I had 1 month taken away, so I had 1 month to do all the work, and then I essentially did it, all the homework, in 2 weeks, and then another 4 days for the final project. Let's see what I want to do. I want to change this to alpha over. I'm having a hard time. I'm a little farther away from my computer than usual. And like I've said before, when doing these streams with the sensor bars, I censor it bigger than I have to, and that will save me time later, because these videos are in 3D, they're stereoscopic, and so when I animate for this camera, this is the left eye, the left camera. When I go to edit the right camera, the right eye, if I frame it bigger in the left, I can use 90% of the same animation. I still have to move it over a little bit to adjust for the difference, but it saves me work doing that. And so going back to what my final project was, my final project was I built a video encoder, and so you select a video, it adds it to a database or a queue, and then you select your settings of if you want the video to be an AVI video, MP4 video, or if you want MWV video, or if you want to add a custom extension. And then you can do, you can select your bit rates. So the default bit rate is, the default options you have for bit rate is 2000 kilobits per second. And the next one's 5000 kilobits per second. And the largest bit rate is 12,000 kilobits a second. And then that also has the option, you can add a custom bit rate. So if you want to do like Blu-ray, you could do 30 megabits per second. It's really, really lets the user select a lot. And then on top of that, you can choose the encoding. So excuse me. You can choose the encoding. So if you want H.264, or if you want ProRes, or if you want MPEG-4, and then you can also have the choice of motion JPEG. So that's, I mean, that took a long day. It took 3 days to build, but it was like 2 medium days and 1 really long day. I was programming essentially for over 12 hours. But it works, and I submitted it. And then it was funny because right before the stream, maybe an hour before I started streaming, I had this video project, and I was like, oh no, I had the full resolution file. I didn't have the placeholder file, and so this is a placeholder file. I mean, it looks grainy and pixely all now, but it's a 360p. It's not even 480p, and that just saves on processing power and everything, and it makes the program work better because this is Blender, and yeah, it allows me to stream while I'm editing. But so it was at full resolution, full 1080p with a high bit rate. I was like, oh no, I can't edit that live. And so I was like, oh, I have to do a setup batch script, and then it will convert them. And then I was like, wait a second, I just wrote a program to convert videos. And so I was like, please work. And so I used it, worked out fine. And I was like, thank goodness. So it's already very useful. It's getting difficult to talk and animate at the same time. So that one's done. Now we got a lot more to do. I'm gonna trim that. And then we're going back to over here. And this purple strip is just an image file. And so in Photoshop I just made a black image. So I'm gonna move that over there. And then essentially just animate the same thing. I'm gonna save like crazy. Do. I'm gonna post links in the chat again. So this is where you can find more stuff that I do. The websites and everything, and there's the Live to Tape website if you want to view past episodes of Storytime from Live to Tape. You know, I was working outside a lot, and well, one, it's kind of the continuing saga of the never working weed whacker / grass trimmer. I've learned there's like 5 names for this device. Some call it the grass trimmer, some call it a hedger, not hedger, like I think, and then others call it something string trimmer, I think. And then I ran across this one video where this guy calls it the weed eater. But whatever it's called, I have 2 of them, and from 2 different companies, and I got the second one because the first one just never worked right, and then I mean, it was like a fancier one. It was a 4-stroke instead of a 2-stroke, and it worked for a year, but now it doesn't, like, at all. It won't even come close to starting. And so I went today and I watched a bunch of videos on like how to fix and issues and stuff. So I came across this one video, and this guy was like, this is how to fix an engine that's flooding. And it was funny because he showed the video and he was like, to show you how flooded this engine is, he took the spark plug out of the weed whacker and he just poured gas straight into the piston, and then put the spark plug back in, and yeah, and so then he tried to start it, and he couldn't even pull the string to start because there was so much gas in the piston that it was just locked, like hydraulically, like the piston couldn't press the gas out at all. And so then he showed kind of the trick to getting all the gas out, and it was like funny because it worked. So essentially what you do is you just make sure the choke is open, and then you squeeze the throttle all the way, have the throttle all the way open, and then once the throttle's all the way open, you can just pull the start cord, and you just pull it for a while, and you have to pull it like really fast, and that will get all the gas out. So I did that like several times. You have to pull it like 15 to 20 times in a row, and you have to do it fast. And then it was like it was getting ready to start. It was like puttering a little bit, and so then there was another video I watched, and this guy was like, this is the guaranteed way to get your lawnmower your weed whacker to start. So I was like, okay, I'll watch this video too. So I watched it, and it was interesting. And so what he actually said was like, you go with the choke closed, and So you go with the choke closed, and then you try to start it till it sounds like it's getting ready to start, because it like starts, the engine starts to turn over a little bit, and then so once it starts doing that, once it starts kind of turning over, then kind of failing, and you put the choke to halfway point. I was like, oh, why didn't I ever think of that? So then you put the choke to halfway point so the gas can kind of slowly go in, but not all the way, not like full throttle. And then you pull the crank, and it will usually start on the first or second pull. So I did that, and then boom, the weed whacker that would never start started up like nothing, and it was just like it was going. And then you open up the choke all the way, and it was working very well. I mean, but the bad thing was that I had only had like a quarter of a tank of gas in, because I was just testing it. And yeah, so I went to do the work, and I was weed whacking for about half an hour, and then it ran out of gas, and I was like, oh, gotta go get more gas. And so I went, put in more gas, tried to start it, wouldn't start. I was like, oh no, because how you start the engine once it's been running is different than how you run the engine when it's like a cold start, like if you haven't used it, essentially if the engine's cold. So I tried all the tricks again, none of them worked. I mean, it was getting close to starting, but my arm was so tired from pulling. Like I probably pulled the cord maybe 70 times today, doing all these tricks and everything. It was just like my back hurts, like my arm, upper back really hurt. So I was like, okay, that's just it for today. I spent an hour and a half working outside after doing other work. And so I was like, okay, this quits. So then I went to take a shower and take my shower, get out of the shower, and then I'm like, oh, there's no towels in this bathroom. And my family and I yesterday just went to the laundromat to wash our clothes. And so all the towels were still in the car. So that was like annoying. So then I had to call my mom and was like, please bring me a towel from the car. And she came and brought me a towel. So I was like stuck in the bathroom, soaking wet. Anyway, the whole point of the story is like I was sweating so much today, and I was just dirty from working outside. And then after I got out of the shower, like after I dried off and everything, I felt so itchy. Like I came into my office here, and I did some work, and it was just dreadful. Like I felt like, I don't know, like my skin was having an allergic reaction to something. And like it wasn't like I was breaking out into hives or anything, but that's what it felt like. But my skin, just looking at it, it looked fine, but it was just really itchy. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm dying. So I probably got just a ton of bug bites, but I didn't see many I'm bugs out today. But at least I'm clean. And then in the morning, well, today was my day off, but this morning I was editing some more videos. Well, it's kind of the next thing I'm doing for my blog on Photations, but I'm taking all the creative streams and editing them a little bit, and then I'm gonna put them on my blog. So I already have like 30 videos I had to kind of cut down. So I cut all those down, and then I worked a little bit on the New York project. We already have so many layers, and it's not even 3 seconds into the video. I'm gonna have to take a break soon. But anyway, now one more story. So I'm working on the New York project, the New York project. I always flip it. I call it the New York project, but usually I would call it, like right now I'm releasing Project Newfoundland, so I always want to call it Project New York, but it's the New York project, and that's just kind of the working title. But with one of the 3D cameras, it encodes into a proprietary codec, and they don't have a program that can separate the video files. So it's a 3D movie that's recorded into one file. So the file is called an MVC, multi-view codec, and so the file holds the left camera video and the right camera video for the 3D. And so if you want to separate them, which is what I need to do to edit them, you can't do it with the software that comes with the camera. There's professional software that is not clear if you can do it, but it costs like 10,000, and so I'm like, nope. But I found this one program called MVC to AVI, and it's a converter, and it separates the file into, and it gets all the views out. So that was good. But the problem with it is it doesn't export with audio, and so if you try to export audio, it will either fail or still export with no audio. And so I was like, so I had to write a program. So it exports all the videos, but then I wrote a program that takes the original file and takes the audio out of that, and then takes the two videos that have been exported and puts the original audio back into that. So it's the same audio, but it's an extra step of encoding. And so I had 500 videos to do that with, and then I had to do it with the placeholder videos. So in the morning I had the program start doing that, and it's a script that will just go through and do them all. Oh my goodness. Oh, I thought I was editing the wrong layer. And so I had to set up that script and I had it running and then it finished. And I don't know, I've been having memory problems this week. And so I was like, so once the Linux blocks, I do most of my rendering on Linux. Once it finished, I was like, there was something else I needed it to render. I couldn't think of what it was. And so then when I was getting my clothes for the shower from the previous story, I was like, oh, I remember. And so I started the renders for the blog that I was talking about with the live stream edits. And so there's like 20 videos, and each one's going to be like a post on the Flotations website. And so my Linux box is busy plugging and chugging away doing that. And then after this creative stream, I'm going to start grouping the videos, because like right now I'm pretty sure all the videos have been encoded into the correct format and everything. And so I'm going to start organizing everything, and then definitely by Friday, for the Friday creative stream, we will be start editing the New York project. So that's like, yay. So it's been about, well, it's been 26. I started working on the New York project. The production part, not the, well, technically, filming and everything took 4 years. But actually getting into the post-production, editing and everything, that started May 26th of this year. So it's like 24 days. Which is a fast turnaround for, I mean, it doesn't sound like it, but for the amount of content that had to be processed, it's a lot. And yeah, I'm framing it a little larger. And so I want to be done. This is the video that's going to be used for episode 8 of Live to Tape story time. And I want to be done with the whole episode before the 1st, because then it's going to go to Patreon. And then the first Monday, wherever the 10th is, so the Monday after the 10th, it goes to YouTube publicly. Okay, so we have a few more cars to do. We have this one, that one, I think. You can see I'm getting a lot of layers. And yeah, I'm gonna take a short break. And I'll be right back. It's gonna be like short, it's gonna be like 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Do. Hold on. For whatever reason, whenever I leave the computer, that's only happened today, and it just starts lagging when I come back. Makes no sense. I was just like, when I left, it wasn't doing anything. There we go, it's working again. And it's just the mouse. Like, the programs aren't lagging or anything, the mouse just gets super wonky. But the good thing is that that bug I was having with Photoshop, turns out it wasn't Photoshop at all. It was a problem with Windows, and in the last update they fixed it, so now Photoshop doesn't lag at all. So that's good. And I've already started working on the photographs, the next medium format photographs from Mexico. I finished working on all of them on Twitch for Italy. And so in the next coming weeks I'm going to post publicly the photos. That's pretty close to where it needs to be. So this is all like the first 4 seconds of the video. And I've been doing it for 45 minutes. So 45 minutes of work for 4 seconds. That's like 10 minutes a second. And it's gonna get harder from here. There's gonna be a couple of places that are easy, but then a couple of hard places for editing. And in other news, I'm feeling much better. On the, I believe it was the 7th, I went to see my doctor, and we were trying a new treatment, and it was rough. I mean, I was streaming and still working, and I was like complaining about some of the symptoms, but it was just the new medicine and everything was really difficult to get used to. It was like if you had a flu, like had the flu really bad, and then you also, not just physically, but you also had like confusion and difficulty thinking. You had all that. So it was like you had the flu of the mind and flu of the body, but really it was just, I didn't have the flu at all. It was just getting used to the side effects of the medicine. It was rough getting used to it. I mean, there were some points where I was like, am I going to survive? But my body got used to it now. And it was just recently that most of the side effects had gone away. So that was good. But it's essentially only been 2 weeks. But I'm hopeful that it will work. So now that I getting my degree, I'm gonna start looking for a job, but not applying yet. I have current obligations for summer and fall, and so I'm gonna start really applying in winter. But so hopefully I find something nice, like tech support or and I mean like in-person tech support, not over the phone tech support. I could not do that. I mean, I could, but that's not something I look forward to. I'm not saying a job's a job, but I would like to enjoy it a little bit. And even though I'm kind of tired of tech, I still enjoy learning about new things and staying up to date. Okay, are we almost done with this 4 seconds? Almost. So we just have this car, that car, and that car. So okay, create the new layer. And I don't like how it does this sometimes. It puts the layer, even though the transform layer was under it, still applies to this image. And so I will just put it under it, even though technically it's over it. And I don't like that. But as you can see, I can change that myself. And so again, this is in Portland, Oregon. This parking lot is actually in the Lewis and Clark College. I'm definitely not going to be able to finish this part of the... I mean, I am going to be able to finish this parking lot, but I'm not going to be able to finish this video or the second video of this stream. And just go as long as I can take it. Sometimes I get antsy, and it's not like an attention problem. It's just like I have to go. It's like having restless leg syndrome, but even when you're not sleeping, like I get this powerful urge to just walk somewhere. And we're at 3 seconds. We might get to 4 seconds. Okay, so that one's done. Now we're going to do this truck. And I'm going to duplicate the image. And again, it tries to stack it up there. It tries to stack it beneath because it just sees it as an empty spot, and it's like, no, don't do that. So I am getting slightly faster at this. I feel like I work faster when I'm not talking, so I'm sorry for that. But it does. I am going to get better at talking and editing. Talking and doing film restoration is easier. This is animating is kind of intense. just as a reminder, this is not the full resolution video. This is just placeholder. When I submit this job to render, it will be using the full resolution video, which is, it's a higher bit rate 1080p video. It says only HD, it's not 4K. Here's where this video was recorded in 2013. So there were 4K existed, but it wasn't as consumer it wasn't consumer friendly. The cameras that they did have shot at either 2K or 2K, or the GoPros at the time shot at 2.7K, but it was very difficult to get hold of a camera that was affordable that could do 4K. Now it's different. Now, like, cell phones can record in 4K. And I saw this one cell phone. It's made by Red, which is a camera company that makes cinematic, well, professional cameras for cinema, and they do like 4K, but they shoot in a raw format, and the file sizes are huge. It's pretty close to being uncompressed. What am I going to do? That needs to be smaller. There we go. Now we just move it to where it's supposed to be. And so the other thing I have to do, and I'm not going to do this streaming, but I have to write the script for Project Newfoundland for episode 5. Episode 5 will be coming to Patreon. July 1st. I'm not worried about that one. I'm more worried about this live to tape episode coming to Patreon on the 1st. But the episode 5 of Project Newfoundland, the videos are edited. It just needs the script and the voiceover. And that's not going to be too difficult. And then I still have to write the script for this video, for episode 8 of Live to Tape Story Time. So I have to do all those offline. And then, yeah. And then, so on Fotations on YouTube and on the website, I am episode 4 is going to be public. It's been up on Patreon for 2 months now as a timed exclusive. And so that one will come out, and that one was a lot of fun to do. I really enjoyed writing episode 4, and it's getting easier to write 20-minute scripts and stuff. Okay, we did the first 4 seconds of the video. Let's save it. So I can just kind of show what I did. All the license plates have been blocked out. My computer can't play it, but we'll try. It's getting 3 seconds. 3 frames per second. So that was it until this spot. And this is where going through and viewing the video ahead of time really helped. I have a blister in my hand from trying to start that weed whacker. Okay. I have this really annoying alert, and I keep saying, to go in and turn it off, but every day I forget. It's a reminder, and it always goes off at 7 p.m. 10 p.m. So it just went off and I saw it. So it's 10 o'clock. I've been streaming for about an hour. So I'll probably go for another half hour. I did have a stream like 2 seconds before the stream. So once I go for the half hour, it will be 2 hours of streaming. And it's not that I'm going to be done for the day. I still have some footage I have to go through and sort. It's the New York project I have to go through and sort. And this is simpler section to edit because I just have to do one car. But I have to do this car for like a long time. this road is kind of bumpy, which means I have to add a lot of keyframes. So I might do a creative stream tomorrow, but I am also gonna do the Mass Effect Let's Play. I was supposed to record that live on Tuesday, yesterday, but the internet wasn't working. So, couldn't do that. Okay, I think that's it for this one. And then if the car gets, that's how far away the car really is. And then right here it starts coming closer. So I'm just gonna set this up and then I'll be right back again. Alpha over, and then I add the keyframes. Okay, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So let's start editing this. So in about 15 minutes, wherever I am, we're gonna stop, and then we're gonna pick this up tomorrow. It'll probably be earlier afternoon, either morning or afternoon. And then I'll go for another hour and a half or 2 hours working on this. I just saw this huge shadow. I was like, oh no, what is that? But it was nothing. So that was like, oh good. Thought there was like a giant bug right above me. This car was kind of a spazzy driver. But you know, I mean, this is time modulated. This is time modulated video, so it's faster than real time. Whoa. I did the wrong thing and it's going crazy. Okay, I think it's far enough. So that one finishes that one. Let me catch up to the car right here. And we have 2 more cars. So we have 10 minutes left. I guess that one section took a long time. So I'm going to start off with the car I've been doing. And then after this live stream, I'm gonna start a rerun. It's gonna be live to tape episodes 1 through 7, and then the Sleeping Spring series. That's gonna be coming. For some reason, I just the last episode I published it on Twitch, Sleeping Springs in downtown Flint, Michigan. I just haven't published it on YouTube yet. Half of me was waiting because I was like, I want to wait till the reviews go up on kind of the last video section I did, last group of videos. But I think it's just time to release it. So I'll probably release the Sleeping Spring in downtown Flint, Michigan. I'll probably release that Friday. So hopefully everything stays still. I don't creep up. And this will be done. This car's gonna take off pretty too fast. Okay, so that's far enough. And then we're going to go back and essentially do the same thing, but for that other car. Gonna alpha over and I'm thinking of things I have to do. I drank like 2 cups of tea, green tea, to kind of wake up. So it's gonna be a late night for me, working offline. I was panicked. I thought that was the license plate for a second. I was like, oh no, have I been keyframing the wrong thing this whole time? But it's not. That's the logo of the car. There we go. And so yeah, tomorrow I'm doing the Mass Effect Let's Play in the evening. It's gonna start around 8 or 9 p.m. in the late morning, so around like 11. I'll be streaming this project again. I'll be doing just working on it further. We've been working on this project for 2 hours, and we are 1 minute into the footage. And so this is slow compared to what I usually do. There's just so much more I have to animate over. So this is like a 6-minute video. So it takes 2 hours for every minute. It's going to take us like 12 hours to do the whole thing. But I'm hoping that it will be done before Friday. Oh, I might not be able to stream tomorrow. We'll see. If I am able to stream, I will be doing it in the morning, creative, and then in the evening, around between 9 and 10, I'll be streaming the Mass Effect Let's Play. I believe it's episode 4 already. And so I'll be playing Mass Effect 2. So I'm just going to finish this up, and then I'll be going offline. So thanks everyone for coming out. I will see you tomorrow in the morning. And yeah, I'm getting a lot done. We have to. So we have this car to edit, and I just have to remember to come back to that spot. So thanks everyone for coming out. See you tomorrow in the morning, and again in the evening with Mass Effect.